stained with, because it was written by people that are beholden to this system. And so what I'm doing is going to seem sort of counterintuitive, but my campaign is nothing like regular campaigns. I'm not taking any endorsements from any interest groups of any side. I am running as a Democrat, and if I get in there, I will vote with the Democratic caucus. I'm making no bones about that. But I'm a single issue campaign about getting the money out. I think the money is playing one side against the other. I think we are headed for a catastrophic Civil War type shooting thing if we don't come to grips. And so, although I'm a progressive, I spent most of my time wading into Republican groups and stuff and trying to convince them that we are not the enemy, that they're being fed a bunch of bullshit about us. You know, and they're being set up to hate on us when we're just regular people. We just happen to see things a little differently than they do. And I'm blaming the money. And I do know that the money is the linchpin to a whole bunch of other issues. You know, I'll see these people like Gallia, for instance. He's got like 10 issues. They're all just spot on. And money's down there at like number 7 with no plan, as far as I know, how to get rid of it. I totally have a plan. It will work. It's waltsidea.com is the website, and it's only about half built. And I got to get out of here to go home to plug a bunch of more stuff in. But anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Thanks for running. Thanks for doing it.
My opponent, who also got in very serendipitously, is now they're trying to drive him out of the race and replace him. He's a PTSD war vet, 30-some years old, who got in on the hate on Kate bandwagon. And when they had to pick a replacement for Drazen, he rose to the top of the pack. And anyway, he got arrested Wednesday night at the fair for being drunk with a concealed weapon. And belligerent,
over a cigarette,
and
right?
well, that's what touched it off. But he was inebriated and packing, and the cops took him down. And I talked to people last night that were there and saw it.
Right.
But anyhow, I spent a lot of time finessing him. I've been to his house. My grandkids have played with his kids. And now he's being driven out. I got a phone call yesterday that was the most vicious push-pull I've ever heard in my life. I've heard of them. But it was all about this race, 51. And they started out, it sounded just like a legitimate thing, but in the middle of it, all of a sudden they tore in and they said, well, if you knew that James Hebe had, and they went all through, and it made it just sound like he was drunk and belligerent. I mean, it was vicious. And then they went over his whole rap sheet of like everything he's ever done, you know? And then they were like, now knowing that, would you vote for Democrat Walt Trandom? And it was so weird, you know, usually they ask if you're involved in a campaign, you can't take the thing, but they didn't ask that, so I just took it. Anyhow, he's going to be driven out. They're going to find a replacement. I don't know if it's going to be a rabid mad dog, you know. I mean, they're all running on Second Amendment and no tolls, and but my campaign's going to be street theater, some political theater. I'm going to organize some naked flag waves. And if I get enough takers, a drag queen flag wave.
I'm sure. Poison waters will come. Thank you.
So that's my story.
Thank